You have to know this when you're working with Docker images. Whenever you're doing Docker pull, there are several important ways you can specify exactly what image you want. And let's look at what those are. So the command is going to be Docker pull or Docker run. When you do Docker run, it's going to look for the image locally. If you can't find it, it's going to do a Docker pull automatically. So for the four different ways here are, you might need to give it like the full address of the image, including where the registry is, the namespace, the image name, and the tag. So the registry is dockerhub, GitLab, GitHub, AWS, wherever you actually, whatever registry you want to use. The namespace is the account, and the image is the actual image name, and the tag is kind of like a version. So you might need to give it all of that information, or you just might need to give it the namespace and the image, or just the image and the tag, or just the image. So let's look at an example of each one of those, right? So if you just want to give it an image, if you just say Docker pull an image, it's going to assume a few things. First of all, it's going to assume you want the latest tag. So if you don't tell it what the exact tag is, what the exact version is, it's just going to say, let me do latest. Then it's going to assume you want the official image. Okay, there are official images, there are images by third parties, there's different kinds of images. So it's just going to assume you want the official one. Then it's going to assume you want to get it from dockerhub. The registry you want to use is dockerhub. So you just told it the name of the image. It makes those three assumptions and it's just going to pull it. For example, if I just do docker pull Jenkins, it's going to get docker.io/libraries/Jenkins latest. So it's going to assume dockerhub, it's going to assume official, and it's going to assume latest. All right. Then what if I just give it a tag? In this case, you're going to do docker image tag. In that case, it's going to assume you want the official image and you want it from dockerhub. So if I just say docker pull Jenkins 2.4, 2. Whatever, it's just going to get docker.io/library, right? It's just going to assume it's dockerhub, and it's going to assume you want the official image, right? It's the library. Now, the third way you're going to do is you're going to give it the namespace and the version or the tag. In this case, it's only going to assume you want dockerhub because that's officially where it's going to try to download it. So it's just going to try to download it from dockerhub. Now, finally, if you give it the full address, including the registry, then it's going to go get it from there. In this case, I'm giving it GitHub, right? So you gave it everything, so it's not going to make any assumptions. In this case, it's going to, instead of dockerhub, it's going to go into GitHub registry, and it's going to go into my account, Super SQA, and it's going to get the image that I want. So you got to make sure you give it all the information you need for that image. Most of the time, you just give it the image and the tag, because most public images, they come from dockerhub, so that's fine. But a lot of times when you're working on like an actual application and things like that, you have private images in your own repository, so you need to specify the full registry, username, and the image. So those are important notes to know.